Alright, welcome to the first real Catch and Cook 2018. So here is my cousin Mark's point of view. His keeper is the one we ended up making the sandwiches from. So he's using a 5-inch nuclear chicken grub on a half-ounce decoy jig head. And I'll leave a link to that stuff below. And once again, we talked about this in the last video. He's popping the jig up, and then he's holding it there, letting the jig swing towards him. And that's the Daiwa Lebras 9-foot medium. It's paired to a Daiwa Ballistic 4000 LT. And he gets a little excited on this fish, and I'll explain in a minute.
Oh yeah, those head shakes. Oh, Raj, I think this is a good one.
Yeah, so a couple seasons ago, my first time ever surf fishing for Fluke, I caught a pretty nice one. And he's been chasing that fish for the last 2.5 years.
Raj, I think this is it.
Alright, here are some photos of the fish I caught. I wish I had footage of this, but it was sort of a fluke. But it was a nice fish, and he's been chasing it. So it's been a long winter, probably felt a little bigger than it is. But I have no doubt that he's capable of catching a big fish. He's using a single jig, he's got the technique down, and sooner or later he's going to connect. Now, he bleeds this one out very nicely in the surf. I think he stood there for 5 minutes, just letting it bleed out. And you'll see later when I fillet the fish how clean it is. Okay, so the cooking portion will be a live audio, and that's how I try to do the cooking videos from now on. Hope you guys enjoy. That's nice. A nice fish.
Oh yeah.
21 and a half.
Probably weighs about 8 pounds.
Yeah. Soon. Very soon you'll catch one.
You can fillet it.
Yeah, well I haven't done this in a while.
Yep.
Let's see how it... Just gonna give it a little hone. Okay. There. Okay, here. Wow, you bled this one out?
Yep.
Not easy on the beach.
This is sushi grade for restaurants, probably.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
That is like translucent.
Yep.
Alright, so we're making a ice brine, and that's just to wash off the fillets.
Mm-hmm.
So saltwater fish, you never want to rinse in fresh water. Mm. And this is kosher salt. I don't really measure it, but
it's hard to overseason.
Hard to overseason. The brine could be a little stronger than seawater, that's fine. And you want to kind of taste it. And then you keep it cold, so you know what you want is these fillets to firm up. And you'll see in my other videos, once you rinse these off, you roll them in dry paper towels and then tin foil. Alright, that's pretty good. Okay, and then this will go right in the ice brine. Alright, so these are portioned, and you just rinse it in the brine. A lot of sandwiches out of one Fluke, and then right there is just on the paper towel. That's it. So the Fluke sandwiches we're making today, it'll be with like a spicy mayo, and then as a relish, I'll do really quickly pickled shallots. Just a little apple cider vinegar, touch of sugar, pinch of salt. A little more sugar. And just mix it. That's good. And we'll slice. You don't need them too thin, but relatively thin rings. And they'll start breaking down a little bit. It's a quick marinade, maybe 15 minutes while we prep the rest of the stuff. That's it. All right, and we'll slice some tomatoes. And not too thick because it's fish. It might be a little too thick. Try a little bit thinner. There. Okay. That should be enough, right? Yeah. Alright, so the spicy mayo. I would say three parts mayo to 1 part sriracha. And this is Hellman's. And this is the only mayo you should use.
Yeah.
For everything. And this is the original Sriracha. There's imitations now.
Oh yeah.
And they are shit.
Yep.
So you want this one. Note the rooster.
Mm-hmm.
And the imitation has a rooster too. These fuckers. Okay. And I would say if you're making a sauce for like a spicy tuna roll, the sriracha is closer to 1/3 or even half.
Mm-hmm.
But this is we just want like a hint of that spice. Alright, set that aside. Flour, and then egg wash, and panko. Now, you'll see on TV, you know, people will tell you to season your flour and your breadcrumbs. I never do that because I don't feel you can get an even seasoning in the flour. There's no way you sprinkle some salt, or especially on the breadcrumbs. So I season the egg wash, and then that will give it an even coating. And I could just give it a nice pinch of salt. And then at the end, we're gonna season the fish. And it's just egg with a splash of water. That's it. Always easier to whisk at waist level instead of up here. You know, just hold your bowl at an angle and then whisk. That's it. And they're pretty firm. And then the fish goes in the flour first. And I like to dust them all with flour and then move on from that step. So just dredge. Make sure you get every edge coated in flour. And then I move to the sink just to knock all the excess flour off. And that's important because if there's a lot of excess, the egg wash is gonna run right off. And one hand is for liquid, one hand's for solids. Run most of your egg wash off. Here, these you gotta do one at a time. Just gently press all sides. Okay, gently lay them back, do one more. If there's too much egg wash, then the breadcrumbs will slide right off. So, make sure you get good coverage. And then just lay them. I just have these they're not wax paper, they're parchment paper. All right, so these are what, Italian rolls? Just get something soft.
Yeah.
Don't get like a really dense, you know, you want like a light, airy sort
Yeah,
of
but we got
bottom.
this from a local Italian bakery this morning, so
Right,
yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Now, bread we're gonna toast for like a minute. You don't need to really toast it, but just to, you know, but that's
Add a little crunch to it.
Yeah. All right, so this is a pretty heavy bottom pan. This is an all-clad. Anytime you're frying or pan frying, you want something that heats pretty evenly. You don't want to use like a thin metal kind of pan, you know. You want the oil to come up like a third of the way.
Also, a thin pan can get dangerous, right?
I mean, it just, what a heavy pan does for you is it heats up and then it holds the heat. So when you drop your fillets in, your temperature doesn't drop, like it doesn't plummet. And even so, you don't want to overcrowd the pan. So like 4 pieces of fillet and that's it. That's the temperature. I just throw in another couple seconds. All right, so you see, these are the tail pieces and they're thinner. And these 3 are like the shoulder pieces. So we're gonna cook, you know, these 3 all together. Goes in gently away from you. And that's it. Just gonna shuffle. That's it. Now the key to seasoning this dish is salting it down right when it comes out. And that's the only time salt's gonna stick. So besides that, you just fry them till they're golden brown, maybe a minute and a half on each side, and that's it.
He was telling me, like, hey, give me a Fluke. My son is so hungry.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip. All right, here's flip. 1 finger up and gently over. Finger up. Okay.
Then you, a little salt.
Yeah, later. We'll flip it again for 10 seconds, turn it over and salt it.
Okay.
And then salt the other side once we're draining it. All right, well, we just flipped them, and I'm gonna salt this side. And now the salt is gonna stick.
Damn.
Be relatively generous. So now here's what we're gonna do. They come out, and I'm gonna flip over on that side.
So there you get to salt the other
Right.
side. Damn, I'm hungry.
It's nothing like fried fish. Hang on, I'm gonna salt it. And again, this is kosher salt, which is half as salty as sea salt by volume. Okay. Put that back there, 241. And we'll do the second batch. And these thin tail fillets will go really quick.
Mm-hmm.
This one is actually the thickest. Yep. All right, so we're gonna just toast this for a minute and a half, 2 minutes. 325 while the last batch of this fish is going. That's it. All right, so the fish, and then this is the stuff. The sandwiches just came out. They're a little bit toasted, just where we want it. So now we're gonna assemble. And you want to work relatively quickly. Okay, so the fish should be at least warm when you go to serve it.
Yes.
I should have gotten Boston Bib.
That's why I was wondering. You think
Yeah,
that did.
but Iceberg works. They didn't have any, that's why. Tomato. These tomatoes, they look nice, but they're not in season. Pickled shallots. They're strong. You don't need a lot. Make sure you. Okay. Oh, these look pretty nice. What do you think?
Real good.
Should we cut into one? All right. Cut into this. I mean, that looks, I don't know. Want to hand the camera over? Wait, where's, this right? I'm pressing.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks pretty good.
Here we go, man.
I heard that crunch. It's good? That's a fluke you caught. Nice. Total domination over this animal. Look at that. How's the pickled shallots?
Just the right amount.
Nice. All right, that's first real catch and cook 2018. And yeah, stay tuned. Nice. I'm gonna kill a couple of these. All right, so that was a basic fish sandwich. Just a recap of the key techniques. You must salt your fish as soon as it comes out of the oil. That's the only time your seasoning will stick. And you have to work relatively fast once the fish is done. So have all your mise en place ready, and good luck. You can do this with any white meat fish. Fluke is just the right shape and size for sandwiches. All right. Hope you guys enjoy that, and stay tuned for the next episode.